Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Thursday morning. It's November the 17th, and man, we're approaching Thanksgiving. Anyway, this morning, I certainly hope you're doing well. Hope you've been able to get some rest, and we're on the downhill slide to the weekend, and certainly thankful for that. And anyway, this morning I do want to share with you a devotional entitled "Not What It Looks Like." In John chapter 12, verse 3, it says, "Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointing the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil." It sounded so spiritual. Yet then Judas said in verse 5, "Why was this fragrant oil not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" I mean, what prompted this criticism from Judas was Mary's act of devotion. I mean, these things clearly they had been coming. I mean, things that clearly had been coming to a head in Jesus' ministry at this time. He'd had a number of confrontations with the religious leaders, and he'd made them look bad, and so they wanted him dead. They had come to the conclusion that that Jesus needed to die. That was the only way they were going to get rid of this problem that they felt like they had. Jesus, he was aware of this. I mean, he knew what was going on. He was God in human flesh. He knew he was on the road to Calvary. And so he decided to spend an evening with, his friends at the home of Simon the leper. His close friends, Mary, Martha, and the newly resurrected Lazarus, joined them. And so as everyone was taking in, this night, Mary, she felt deeply moved to do something completely unexpected. She took a jar of expensive, fragrant perfume and she poured it onto Jesus' feet. She then wiped Jesus' feet with her hair. To the other disciples, Mary's actions, might have seemed extravagant. They were probably thinking, man, that Judas, he is so spiritual and man, he's concerned about the poor. And he's got a point. This is wasteful. This is foolish. But then John added this detail in verse 6 of chapter 12. He said, "This Judas said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the money box, and he used to take what was in it." You see, in other words, Judas was very adept at coming off as spiritual when in reality another agenda was at work. Jesus, he rebuked Judas and the others who had joined in by saying, this is from Mark's account in Mark chapter 14. He said, "Leave her alone. Why criticize her for doing such a good thing to me? I tell you the truth, wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and discussed." You see, she who appeared, frivolous and wasteful was actually the spiritual one. And he who appeared thrifty and compassionate was actually the unspiritual one. And, I think that, that's the way our world is, today. Things are not always as they appear. Satan's very good at deceiving us, and he does it through people sometimes. Not always, but he does sometimes. There are people sometimes that do try to come off as spiritual when in reality there's an agenda there. And, that's why the Bible tells us, Peter in his writings and, tried to tell us that, why we need to be guarded, why we need to be careful. Satan's like a roaring lion. He's looking for someone to devour. And so that's why we have to be careful. We have to realize that not everyone has the best intentions. But I think another thing we can get from this story is we need to be extravagant in our love for Jesus, because he went to the cross for us, and we can be thankful every day for what he did for us. And so anyway, I hope that encourages you today. I hope that you have a wonderful Thursday. And remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.